Today is back day, one of my favorite days out of the whole split. A little disclaimer before we get into the actual workout. Um, I was looking at the formatting for the previous video, and I decided, I'm gonna make it easier on y'all. So what I'm gonna have is timestamp the actual workout, and then another timestamp for the talking portion, the main topic. So essentially, when you look at the title of the video, you'll see what areas we're working, then dash what the topic is going to be. So you see that like in this video right now. So you can feel free to look at the workout if you want to see me talk. Now there will still be a few little talking segments within the actual workout, but majority of it will be working out, and then the last portion will be just me talking about whatever topic. And feel free to recommend topics, in the comments, whatever you want me to talk about. If there's something you want to know, just let me know. So let's go ahead and jump into this workout. All right, starting with deadlifts. At the third set, final set. If you're wondering what these are, I use these whenever I really do back movements, primarily being deadlift, and sometimes shrugs depending on the weight. But essentially, these allow me to go to failure on my back when it comes to deadlifts and such. It's really been a real game changer. I feel a lot more in my back rather than my hands, which before, when I didn't have these, usually I would drop the weight because it was just digging into my hands, and I wasn't really feeling it that much in my back. So I got these, and I don't want to hear no, "You got soft hands, brother." I don't want to hear none of that in the comments. Yes, that light over there is flickering. Gotta change it, but regardless, we're still hitting the workout. So we got wide grip lat pull downs. Now we got seated cable rows. Cool thing is that I have a cable thing also on my squat rack, which I'll show y'all. But seated cable rows. I also like T-bar rows with the barbell, but I feel it better when I do this workout instead. So let's go ahead and do it. You know, that sun right there is coming through my blinds and it's just hitting me right in the face, man. You know what? I'm gonna put some glasses on because I can't with that, man. I gotta see what I'm doing. Come on. So now instead of doing wide grip lat pull down, we're gonna be doing close grip to really emphasize the lats. So let's go ahead. If you're wondering why I'm kind of pulling to my belly button, is because when I do that, you can try it out for yourself, but for me personally, when I do that, I feel a deeper stretch in the lats, especially the lower lat area. So yeah. Taking a break from back right now. Let's go ahead and hit the triceps. Again, if you don't know, for my split, I do back, triceps, forearms, and I do chest, biceps, shoulders. Then I got legs, and then I do a light chest day mixed in with there. The reason I do that, that's just what I like. It works for me. Helps with fatigue and whatnot. Allows me to really hit the muscle how I want to hit it. So yeah. I might have said earlier that I don't really do like these kind of rows, but I forgot I do. Kind of like, just close grip rows, because that what I was doing before on the cable was wide grip. So I got this right here, put on the bar, so I can do the close grip. So Yeah, let's do it. Now we got the last back workout, and then we can move on to forearms. That's the last thing I do. I know I already, well, I did the tricep push downs. I forgot to record it, but I also did like skull crushers. So um, that's all I do for triceps. I just do push downs and skull crushers. That's about it. But let's go ahead and do these shrugs. Uneven, huh? So to work forearms, I do 3 movements. One of them being the so a workout that's common. Stole it from Sam Solik, but forearm curls. So let's do it. Finish with one forearm workout, one of 3. Now, I don't know what exactly you call these, but essentially it's to work on the top part of your forearm. Think of it like when you're on a motorcycle and you want to vroom vroom, you know? So you're doing this motion, right? And that's working all of the top portion of the forearms. So, um, yeah. Then I do a superset of that, and then reverse forearm curls. So, oh man. Back workout complete. Forearms kind of going a little crazy right now, but let me take this off. See how it looks. See how the pump looking. Work. Tricep. Yep. Looks good. I like that. Back pump is indeed pumping. Oh, that feels good. Oh my goodness. That is the back, tricep, and forearm workout. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, now we're gonna have a little segment, just talking about me and my story and how I got into the gym and everything. So, stay tuned for that. My story, right? Again, my name is Jalen Ashley. Growing up, I was really raised, working out. I would work out with my dad, but I was young. I didn't want to work out with him. I just wanted to play on the game, play on the Xbox 360, playing Skylanders, Disney Infinity, Lego games, all that kind of stuff. It wasn't really something that I necessarily enjoyed at that time, but also during that time when I was young, going through school, I was overweight. That was how it was throughout all of school. Elementary school, middle school was the worst out of all of it, really. High school kind of dimmed down, but really middle school is what hurt me the most as far as me being self-conscious about my weight, because I'm sure some of y'all can relate, but going to school, I always had to wear a hoodie. It didn't matter how hot it is. Mind you, it's hot in Florida, and I'm talking about wearing a hoodie in like 90, 100-degree weather. It didn't matter to me because I thought the hoodie was, it was more so like it was hiding my weight, which is something I was trying to do. Wasn't working. Now that I look back at it, no, you can still see I was overweight. It's not hiding anything. But at the time, I thought it did, and I was so reliant on the hoodie, always wearing a hoodie. I remember one day I forgot it at the house, and my mom was driving me to school, and I was like, "Wait, mom, I forgot my hoodie. We need to go back." And I was having like a panic attack. So I was like, I didn't want to go to school without the hoodie. And initially, mom was saying like, "No, we're already pretty much here." But I begged her, and we ended up turning around. Yes, I was late that day to school, but for me, that was worth it because needed, at the time, I needed the hoodie, and I was just real self-conscious about it. And during that time, especially middle school, I was being bullied left and right, man. Even like my friends during that time, the thing that annoyed me the most is when they do the little scoop thing. That was really what made me super self-conscious about my weight. And I look back at that and I'm like, man, even during that time in middle school, it just got like too much where I was, thinking about just, you know, I don't know if I could really say it on YouTube, but, really thinking about like, just leaving, just put it that way. Um, and it was a real dark time in my life. And I remember one day I just really let my emotions out to my parents. I was like, I'm going through this, this, and this. And um, essentially, we got with my youth pastor at my church that I still go to, but and he helped kind of turn things around. Don't get me wrong, I was still self conscious about it. And then leading into high school, it did get a little better. During like my my freshman year was the time of COVID, so I finished up eighth grade, middle school online, and then I did the first semester of freshman year online as well. Then I started going in person the second semester, then was in person, the rest of the grades. But during even freshman year, it was less, but it was still some people that would still do the little um thing, and I was still wearing the hoodies and trying to like have layers on so I didn't look as big, but I was still big regardless. But eventually in my sophomore year, I joined my weightlifting team for the school, and um, I did that the whole thing. I went to regionals for that, and it was good. I really did enjoy my time. Then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna do football. I'm gonna try out football. A lot of my family members they've done football, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try football. I'm gonna try and do that. So it was one of my first practices that I actually tore my ACL because one of my teammates fell on me and tore my ACL. So that, of course, put me out before I could even start, really. And then that was my sophomore year. That was like 2022, and it was April. It was like April 28th. I don't I remember the exact date it happened, man. And um during that, even that day when I tore my ACL, because recently I got a job interview, they called me the day I tore my ACL after the fact that already happened, and they said, "Hey, you got the job." I was like, because it was a customer service job, I was like, I can't really take it because I can't walk. Eventually, though, after I did heal, I did end up getting the job at the same place. But um, during that time is really when it kind of flicked a switch in my mind because I was like, okay, I have to decide. I know I don't want to do football. I don't really want to get back into weightlifting. So I was like, I don't want to just sit around and do nothing. I want to have some kind of activity in my life, which is that's when my dad got me a gym membership at Crunch Fitness. Started going with him towards the end of 2022, but it was kind of like my New Year's resolution going into 2023 to really just take it seriously, take that seriously, take um, health seriously. Actually, I have a picture of one of my first times at the gym. I don't know if you can really see it there. I try and hold it close to it, but that's how I looked um, going in to the gym, one of my first workout sessions. And I made the mistake of wearing all gray, as you can probably tell by the picture. But regardless, that was really the kick point of my fitness journey. So then I started dieting seriously, cutting, doing all this, learning about different, exercises and foods and tracking calories and you name it. I was learning it. And eventually, throughout 2023 into 2024, I lost maybe, I'd say like, how much did I weigh? Beginning of 2022, I was about 300 pounds. So maybe it didn't look like that on the picture, but I remember specifically weighing myself on the scale and it said 300. But I think I lost maybe about uh, 40 pounds, maybe. So I was about like 260, 265, around that weight. Um, and I seen the results. I was like, okay, this is working. So then 2024, I made a little plan, like to execute the whole year. I didn't really follow it. I was just, excited for the new year, new me phase. But regardless, 2024, that whole year, I think at towards the end of it, because I was still doing workouts, doing all that. Eventually, I switched gyms to EOS Fitness or EOS, whichever you want to call it. I think at the end of 2024, going into 25, I was I was like 230 something, 230, 235 maybe, around that. But then really this past year, 2025, I remember that January I did like a 3 day fast, just drinking water, and I got down to like 225, but it was like it didn't it looked like I was bigger. It was like an unhealthy way to go about doing it, just to get down to the 225, just to say I hit 225. But um, regardless, during the first 6 months of the year of 2025, I was just, going through the motions. I remember went to one of my friend's house. We had a little friends gathering, a little hangout, doing a grill. Um, but I weighed myself at his place, and I was like 245, and I was like, man, I gotta do something. Now this was at the end of like May, right? So that flipped a switch. I was like, okay. Then I really locked down on my dieting. I was eating at that time maybe like 1,500 calories after that switch flipped. Then I went down to like 1,300, and then I was at 1,700 for towards the end of last year, 2025, and I got down to 200. That's still where I'm at. I'm kind of maintaining where I'm at now. I'm just trying to cut off the few little extra pounds of fat, stubborn fat. And, I'm grateful that now I feel comfortable in my own body. Kind of tying it back to what I was saying about middle school. I feel comfortable, about my own body. I don't wear hoodies all the time. I wear t-shirts, tank tops, whatever. And I feel comfortable in my own self, in my own skin, which is something I've never felt before in my whole life until this year, 2026. And I'm just really grateful for that. But essentially, the moral of this whole thing is don't let other people decide how you live your life. Don't let what people do to you to get you down to a point where you just don't even want to be around anymore. Because I've been in that area. You know you can change your life. We have the power to change our life. We have free will, and we can decide how we want to live our life. What we need in this life is God, discipline, and the belief that you can do whatever you set your mind to. Because you can. All is possible through God. And without Him, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I probably wouldn't even be here today. And I just give all thanks to Him. That's my story. That's who I am. So y'all got the transparency, which I will never hide anything about myself to you, to anyone, because I'm not in that point in my life anymore. Thank you all for tuning in to today's video, and hope to see you again in the next one. So this is Jalen Ashley. God bless.